What up, everybody? It's JetMuzik here, and today we're going to be looking at the ZgameEditor visualizer. And I'm just going to go over a few things, the wizard, how I use it, ways that you can use it. I'm going to speak on making like a animation of your logo. I may not get into it. It's something I'm still working on, but definitely something for us to come back to and be able to look at on the next video. But for this video, I just wanted to show you guys how, or the features that you have available at your fingertips to be able to use to make some dope videos for your IG, for your YouTube, just to display your music and be able to have content to post. All right, thanks for checking it out. Hope you hit that like and subscribe button if you like the content, and see you on the other side. Peace.
Grew up quick, I learned it all. You don't appreciate the water till they turn it off. Everything I got, man, I earned it all. In my neighborhood, they gained weight and worked it off. Big man on the block.
What up, everybody? So today we're gonna go ahead and get into the ZgameEditor visualizer. And I'm just going to go over a quick overview, kind of give those people like me who want an easy way to make some videos that doesn't take a lot of time, that you don't have to download some extra software to be able to use. And the learning curve is pretty cool on it, especially now with the wizard. But you would have to have 20, I believe 12, but for some of the features I'm going to show you, definitely would need 20 and up. To be able to use them. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. I already have the ZgameEditor pulled up with a wizard pulled up, and I can show you how to do that real quick. Let's close that out. It's going to detach the window. This is your preview window, which stays on top of everything. So right here, as you can see, it's a wizard button. You can just hit that and it'll switch the visualizer back over. You can see my CPU is tripping. All right, we got the visualizer up and a display will pop up probably in a second, but let's go to, or let's look through the samples that they have here and some other ways you can manipulate those samples. So let's take a look. She almost went. You can see it got quite a few little presets or samples that you can use without having to really put a lot of brain power into them. I do track out my stems so that it makes it a little bit less CPU usage. As you can see, it's pretty heavy. If you want to go with something a little more realistic and you don't want to use that, or you want to use your own background, you do have spaces to edit. As you can see, your edit buttons are here, here, and here for where the name shows up. You can add visualizers or foreground effects. There's a lot you can do here, and it's pretty straightforward right here, available for you without you having to do some of the things you used to have to do in the previous versions of the visualizer. So for my overview of this, you can do some reverse engineering if you're that type of person that wants to look into how they made this possible. All that information will be available in the I guess you call it your dialog box, where you can see everything that's going on. Now that I have the wizard open, it won't let me adjust or mess with that right now, but I just wanted to show you. So what we can do is, and if you look at some of the places which you have here, your background, which is the floating, and you can hit this randomize button, it'll randomly change what you use here. Again, if you don't want to use any brain power, your font process is like if you want to add audio shake. You select audio shake and it'll allow, when you play your beat, the picture in the background or whatever picture selected behind it or in front of it rather will move. So you definitely want to adjust the amount of this, which they give you a toggle right here to do that if you're going to use it. And I have mine set to drum, so it'll hit on my drum hits. And so that's one thing. If you want the audio shake, it's ways you can manipulate that to add effects to different types of backgrounds. If you want to do transparent backgrounds where you put audio shakes on different transparent backgrounds that you've added of layers, you can do that. Once you get the basics down, there's so many more options and things that you can start to do to really have a more advanced looking video. But again, for those who are just looking to have something to be able to say you got your beat done, you want to even upload it in or use it in your session, drop a ZgameEditor visualizer in and pick you a preset, put your name information in if it's not already set, which you can actually do that in your options settings and have your information set just like I do here on this side of the screen where I did not type that in, it was already there. They picked that information from the information that you have in your FL Studio. But moving on, we can take the audio shake off. I didn't want that for this. It was just for you to see that because I know that's something a lot of people look for. As far as with the background, some great things that I've seen that they updated on is now they have a library powered by Pixel where, excuse me, you can go into this library and you can find photos or videos and you can tell which one you're on by where the green line is selected. So I had already done a search for music, and so that's why you see all of these things involving music popping up, and how many photos that are available. That is a lot of photos to be able to choose from and be able to, and what's crazy is when you choose these photos, the credits are already placed in your render box that you can copy to your clipboard and set in your YouTube video set. These people get the credit for their photos that you are using, also with the videos as well. And these are all free to use, so you can use them. It's pretty dope. You know, you type in, let's see if Beats pulls up. It may not, it's not an unlimited library, but you can get a lot of dope videos. So I got 68 videos, 17 pictures, and it's pretty easy to upload them. Oh, look at that. So it's not, so let's use this. And so since it was not sized properly, of course you can see it made a difference in what the size looks like. If you go, and we can't go right there now, but if you go into this area, you can adjust the size of those pictures or images. It will be under the image box actually, and you can adjust the size of the pictures and how the width and things like that. So that is cool. We can switch that media out because the size is stupid. That's stupid. Let's use this one. Boom. So that looks a little bit better. Of course, you would have to change your font colors, stuff like that. But I'm just showing you different options that you have available with the ZgameEditor to be able to make some dope videos that don't look like they were made in the FL Studio DAW. So let's move forward. If you had a visualizer, which I believe one was here, but this is where you can change all your visualizers. So we can do a linear polarized. And so when you change your beat, you'll see it affected. You can change the color here. You can change the position really easily with this. You just put your mouse over top of it, hold down the mouse click button and adjust that. And so that's pretty dope as well. As far as, again, before the wizard, you had to do all of that stuff in here. And you can still do that to get a little bit more control over your effects or do some different things that the presets don't offer you. But for those, again, like me, who want to make it a little bit easier, I think this is the best way to go. So again, that's another option you have. Now, audio source. Audio source is like with your audio shake or any of your visualizers, where the sound source is going to come from that affects those different images or objects. That would be here, your audio source, where you can set it to your master or whatever channel that you have instruments set on that you would like to use. Now, it used to, or at least maybe the way I have my mixer set up, it only really allows me to use the, I have my mixer set up with sends, so, or bus tracks, I'm sorry, bus tracks. So these are my bus tracks for my instruments, my bass, my drums, my vocals, and my sound effects, so that everything is routed into certain places, which is not bad. I'm not mad at that. But it used to be a time where you could actually set it to your kick drum, your snare, your hi-hat, which I feel like, as you can see these inserts here, if you did have your channel on one of those inserts, that should work. But I believe because I have mine routed to these outputs, that's what's coming up, and which is fine. So if I had instruments and drums, and I could separate between my drums, triggering one picture or visualizer or my instruments triggering one or both or a different one or vice versa. So that just gives you some ways that you can kind of get a little fancy with the way your videos operate, or when certain pictures move. Like you can put a transparent video in a PNG. You can't put a transparent video, I'm sorry, a PNG in here. You can't use GIFs either. I do want to mention that. I did see that on another video because that was something I was looking at myself. You cannot use GIFs in this service, but you can use a GIF converter, GIF to MP4, because MP4s do work just as well on here. So you can use those. So you can then, once you get done here, if there's nothing else you want to do, you can go ahead and continue to the rendering side of things. So click on that. Now at this point, remember that if you do have a beat in here, it does give you the option for that after this. So this is for your video solely. And so you have some presets, which is another addition or upgrade that is not in the 12 version, I don't believe. So you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. Here is the area for all of your content that you've added and the people who have made that content and their sources. So you can copy this and put that in your video description so that you can credit the people and where the visual tools that you use came from. So here we're looking at the presets for rendering. So you can render for YouTube at different levels: HD, 4K, 5K. Nothing, we're not there yet, but okay. Instagram for portrait and for your stories. TikTok and Facebook HD and Facebook stories. So I normally, or typically, I would do the 1080 HD version. YouTube, I usually don't change anything else except for this, which is where my video is going to save, where it's going to render to. So I always save it in the same folder with whatever video or beat that it goes with, so I can have that available. And then you can press OK. And then this will be the dialog box for your render of your track. And you can, of course, go through that part. You already know how that works, and hit start. I'm not going to do that as I don't want to render this because I wasn't trying to set this up like that. But just real quick, we can go back through, like I said, reverse engineering and look at some of the features that they use to be able to set up their video, the video preset that we used. And so the layers go from this side to minimize that. There we go. All right, so your visualizers frames start from the furthest back, or your background, to the foreground, which would be furthest to the right. They do have some groups in here that is a little bit more advanced than what I wanted to get into as far as speaking about, but you can see like where the image is selected that I used. You can see the pixel photo image PNG. So you can see where you can adjust the size here, the position here. So this is the back end of what we see on the front. And this is how it used to be in the beginning. You didn't have the wizard to be able to help set some of these things up for you. That would be a little bit more advanced for people who are not familiar with how to use this tool. So instead of me getting into that, again, I didn't want this video to be too long or too in-depth, because again, it is some things you can do. I am working on doing a video to create a animated logo, and that is something else that will show you in depth how we start from beginning to end and using these features. So I'm not going to go into that now, but again, this was just a way for you to see some of the features that you have available at your fingertips with the ZgameEditor visualizer, and how you can make some dope videos pretty quickly and pretty efficiently in your DAW. So I hope this helps. If you have any other questions or concerns, or again, go ahead and hit that bell notification so you can be alerted when those videos for the more in-depth versions of the video analyzer come out, and you can see how it works a little bit further, or dive in for yourself. Thanks for checking us out. It's JetMuzik. I'm out.
Boss suits when I boss, nigga. Crib got elevators in it, looking like the Carter building. You can get that tone and meet death like your hard of hearing. You used to have to ride the